I can't leave. Hey y'all, it's your girl Olivia Elaine and welcome to my channel. The secret is out. I moved. Low-key, somebody's like cutting grass or something. But y'all, your girl moved, okay? Thank God. That old house, it was depressing me. So I moved. If you don't know by now, I moved to Houston from Alabama in September 2023. Labor Day to be exact. And I think that was what, September 3rd, because that's my granddaddy's birthday. Or maybe, let me look it up. Let me look it up real quick. Hold on. It was actually September 4th. I moved to Houston on September 4th, Monday, September 4th, 2023. Okay? Okay. I had just graduated from undergrad in the fall of 2022. Moved back home. I was in Alabama with my mama. I knew I wanted to go to grad school. The plan was always to go to grad school. But I also knew that I was burnt out and I needed a break. So the plan was we're taking a 1 semester break, which was going to be spring 2023. And then in the fall, we were going to start school. But I didn't know what school I wanted to go to because it was harder finding a program that was clinical psychology, but not a PhD program. Because at that point, I was so burnt out. I was like, I don't even want a PhD no more. We could just do masters. We don't need a PhD. Now, do I still feel that same way right now? I don't know. Cause then I did want a PhD before. My original plan, go to undergrad and then go to a doctor program straight out of undergrad. Thank God I didn't do that because girl, do I still not want a PhD now? I don't know. I'm still trying to decide. It goes from yes to no once a month. So we don't know. But like I said, it was hard to find a clinical psychology master's program. So finally I decided and had the bright idea to look on TikTok. Okay, let's retrace. A program that I actually liked. So I looked it up on TikTok and I think I looked up master's clinical psych, right? And the first video that popped up was a girl taking graduation pictures at Texas Southern and her caption said #clinical psychology. So I went to the website, looked up the program, looked up the classes, the mission, all that. And I was like, you know, this is exactly what I need. I like this program. The only thing was I never saw myself living in Houston, friends. I had been to Houston before for a friend's birthday. And when I visited, I was like, oh, this is a nice place to visit. But I would never live here. After that whole seeing Texas Southern and all that, I was like, Jesus, can you send me a sign? Am I supposed to be going to Texas Southern? Do I need to keep looking? You know, I prayed about it, asked for a sign, this, that, and the third. Shortly after, I was driving. I was actually driving home from work, I believe. I was at a stoplight. And the car in front of me, their license plate, it was the Alabama license plate. And some of their plate had HTX together. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to Texas Southern. I did everything I needed to do to apply. Started studying for the GRE, got my recommendation letters together, did my letter of intent, or what is it called? I did my essay. Personal statement, I did that. Y'all, first of all, the GRE thing in itself, it was a lot, friends. I took that GRE twice. Well, really 1.5 times. You wanna know why? The first time I registered to take it online, kicked everybody out the house, made my mama go somewhere. I put a note outside the door. This house is closed. If you need help, call my mama. Olivia taking the test. Don't ring the doorbell. Don't do nothing. Y'all, I took the test online. Tell me why. We got to the portion where you can take a break and use the restroom. Y'all, when I came back from taking that break, the proctor ended my test. I was emailing back and forth, chat boxing back and forth. She would not start it. It was my fault somehow, some way. I was so mad. I called my mom crying, cussing. I still ain't got my money back from that. So I ended up applying to take the test again, and I took it in New Orleans because that was the closest test site to me. So my mom drove me to New Orleans. It was probably, I don't know how much longer after it was, but it was cutting it close to that application time. I know that much. But yeah, I did all the things I need to do in order to apply for Texas Southern. Yeah, I literally put in my 2 weeks before I even got my acceptance email. And honestly, this is what I be talking about when I say I got crazy faith, because girl, how you quitting the job? You don't even know if you going. But I knew. I didn't know, but I knew. From the moment I decided I was going to Houston, I was looking at places to live. I had a friend that I worked with and she was like my work bestie, right? And I didn't really tell many people that I was Cause y'all know how it be when you at a job and you tell them you finna, man. I didn't really tell many people, not even just people that I work with, people that I know, period. I didn't really tell many people that I was planning on applying to school and moving to Houston, this, that, there, but I told her. And I was telling her how I was looking for places in Houston, and she was like, oh, I actually have a friend that's an apartment locator in Houston. This is before I even know what an apartment locator was. She connected me with her friend put up some options. Eventually her friend was like, well, are you going to come to Houston and look at these apartments, or do you want me to look at them, send you videos? She said, girl, I'm gonna come to Houston, I'm gonna look at these apartments. And literally, I had planned for me and my mom were going to drive to Houston, stay in that hotel for the weekend, and we were going to a tour apartment. Literally the weekend before the week, if that makes sense, that I was supposed to leave to go to Houston to tour these apartments, got sick, ended up in the hospital, was in the hospital for 4 days. And me, stubborn of me, I was like, girl, we still going to Houston. My mom was like, you're not going to Houston this weekend, Olivia. And I was like, you right. I'm not going to Houston this weekend. So I canceled the hotel, told my girl I was in the hospital, can't come. Let that little trip go, right? And you know, I'm the type of person, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. I don't care if it take me 5 days, 5 years, 5 weeks, 5 seconds. If I say I'm gonna do it and I actually want to do it, I'm gonna do it. So if I say I'm moving to Houston and going to grad school, baby, I'm moving to Houston, I'm going to grad school. Y'all, somebody, I'll never forget, I went to the hospital, blah, 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 had transfer my throat. Somebody was like, Olivia thinks she's still going to Houston. She ain't going to Houston. I said, I am, but okay. You feel how you feel, but I know what I know. I just have to put that in there because people really do be trying to talk you out your plans, which is so crazy because, girl, I ain't asked you to join. But anyway, so y'all know how you have things that you look at, well, I guess apartments that you look at, and you have like your top ones. Well, I had a top apartment that I really wanted to move into. It's so crazy. I'm applying for these apartments, I ain't got no job. Not in Houston anyway. I was applying, trust me, I was applying, no one got back to me except for this one person, this one company. I cannot for the life of me remember who it was, but I remember I was in the middle of handling something at my job. I got a call and it said Houston, Texas. I said, let me step out real quick, answer this phone call, maybe it's a job. The lady was on the phone. She said, hey, this is whoever with whoever. I really wish I could remember, but I can't. I just want to ask you a few questions to see if you want to set up an interview for this job. And I said, hey, I'm not really available right now. Can you call back at a later time, schedule something? She said, I'll call you back later today. Will you be ready around whatever? And I said, yeah, that's fine. She never called me back. And y'all, I promise you, I was going through my call log trying to figure out where the number was. Some way, somehow it got erased because I cannot find it. Maybe it was a fever dream and she never called me, but I promise you, applying to apartments without a job lined up is crazy because how are you going to pay your rent? You know, I be mad in the moment, but when you think about it later, it's like, girl, thank God I applied to this apartment. Well, first of all, I called the lady and I was like, hey, you do virtual tours? And she's like, of course I do virtual tours. Y'all, we on Zoom doing the tour. And I said, you know what? I'm going to apply because I love. The apartment was cute for one, and the fact that she did the virtual tour, applied, got denied. Rightfully so. I didn't even get denied because of the income, because clearly I used, you know, the bank stubs from the job that I already had to get approved, well, to apply. And I was just gonna hope and pray that I found a job when I got to Houston. I got denied because I made some dumb decisions my last year undergrad, and we're just gonna leave it at that. So I got denied. I was like, well, dang, what I'm gonna do? Mind you, I ain't really had that much longer to be in Houston. It was probably coming up on 2 weeks till I was needed to be down here, up here, whatever. I was looking on Texas Southern housing options, and they had a few options, you know, all the on-campus housing options, but they also had, I guess, a partnership. I wouldn't even call it a partnership. I guess they were just vouching for them. It's a company, and they provide housing for students. So it's a lot of students from U of H, Texas Southern, and colleges in Houston that use them. I applied for this company, and I also applied for on-campus housing, but they denied me for the on-campus housing because they said I didn't have no money, which wasn't true. I still don't understand what they were looking at, but clearly it was just meant to be. But anyway, with the company, they provide different options for housing. They do like a roommate situation where you can rent a room in a house, which is, I didn't really like that one, because what if I stay in room A and it's 2 men that stay in room B and C? Because how do you I didn't like that. They also had options where you could rent the entire house. They also had duplex and fourplex options. As I was scrolling through the website, I saw a fourplex. 2 units in the front, 2 units in the back. It was only 1 unit available and it didn't tell me which one. However, as I was looking, I really hope it's this one that's available because this is the one that I like. This is the one that makes the most sense for me. It was the biggest one and it was in the front. I refuse to be in the back because what if I get home 3 o'clock in the morning and it's dark and there's somebody in the back waiting on me? Didn't like that. So I called them to get more information. I was like, you know, asking about the process, yada yada. And I said, hey, I want to apply to this one, but can I pick which one I live in? They said, no, it's only one available. I said, well, which one? A1. That's what I wanted, thank God. You know, before I applied, I was like, I really don't want to apply and get denied again. So let's ask Jesus if we need to apply. Jesus said yes. I was at the gym because the door to the apartment is blue. And I was like, God, if it's meant for me to stay in this apartment, let me see a blue car when I walk up out of here. When I walked out the gym, it was like 50 blue cars. So I said, okay, we're gonna apply. We're gonna apply. I applied, got approved. Of course. I signed that lease and sent that deposit without ever staying at that place. 10 out of 10 would never recommend. Don't ever do that. Ever. Never do that. Never. Ever. And the way I'm never getting that deposit back because I broke the lease, so I forfeited my deposit. Also, breaking a lease is very expensive. Classes started on like August 27th, August 28th. I was supposed to move in around like one day that week. The landlord, and it wasn't really my landlord. The company has people of points of contacts for each property. And I just called my point of contact, my landlord, because he was who I was speaking to directly. So my landlord was texting me, hey, we need to move your move-in date to Monday because we're still trying to get your house together from the last tenants. Which couldn't have been true, friends. Couldn't have been true. He lied, I promise you. Because what were you getting together? Anyway, I said, okay, cool. That's fine. When I say literally, everybody had to work and could not take off for the day that I was supposed to move in. And my mama, she already didn't want me to move, right? But then when she found out couldn't nobody take off, she couldn't even take off. She was like, oh, you can't drive to Houston by yourself and move in by yourself. You've never been that way. What if this? What if that? What if this? What if that? She was just scrambling, trying to find somebody to come to Houston with me. Whole time in my head, I'm like, girl, whether you find somebody or not, I'm still driving to Houston by myself. I don't know what she thought this was. And I understand she was nervous, but I was still coming to Houston regardless, by myself or with somebody. Anyway, finally, we figured out my brother's fiance can ride with me to move into Houston. So she rode with me to Houston and then she flew back later that night. Got to the apartment. He left the key for me in a lockbox and he gave me the code to the lockbox. We pulled up. Oh, I forgot to mention. Now I knew this beforehand. The apartment was in 3rd Ward. 3rd Ward is kind of gentrified now, but it's still 3rd Ward. So I knew I was going to be in 3rd Ward. And honestly, the neighborhood wasn't that bad. But anyway, y'all, when I moved in, horrible, horrendous, a nightmare. Honestly, it was disgusting. There were bugs everywhere. There were holes in the wall. The freaking fire alarm was hanging by the wires from the ceiling. It was horrible. Y'all, when I walked in there, I was about to walk out, get back in my car, and drive back home. As much as I did not want to go home, as much as I was ready to leave Mobile, that almost made me go back home. It's very true when they say everything happens for a reason, because if it had been anybody else that helped me move in, the way I was feeling, if they would have said, do you want to go home? I would have went home. They would have convinced me so easily to go back home. Anybody else, if it wasn't for Priscilla, my brother's fiance, we would have went back home that night. It was horrible, friends. It was horrible. And like I said, it was bugs in there. I don't do bugs. And then you got up in my house where I'm supposed to live, where I'm supposed to pay rent at. Bugs? You're kidding. You're joking. You're joking. I'm texting my landlord, sending him pictures like, this broke, this need to be fixed. It's bugs in here. It's dirty in here. Why did you push my move-in date if clearly you didn't do no prep? At least fix the house. So I'm complaining. I'm cussing him out. Well, professionally cussing him out. I'm not saying no cuss words, but you know, Priscilla was like, we can go to Walmart. We can get all these cleaning supplies. We can get some bug bombs. You'll be okay. And I was like, you know what? Optimism. I'll be okay. So we went to Walmart. We got the stuff. We came back. We were cleaning. I had a mask on because there was so much bleach getting sprayed up in there. It was a lot. We were cleaning, we were bombing. And well, we didn't bomb until, because you know, you gotta leave. So we sprayed and cleaned first. And y'all, in the process of us spraying and cleaning, my neighbor, because I had a next door neighbor in the fourplex, and then I had back door neighbors, right? My neighbor pulled up. He was like, hey, you moving in? I said, yeah. He said, oh, you in my spot. I said, oh, he hates me. I'm in his spot. He hates me already. So we moved my car. We cleaned, we bombed, we got in the car, we left. And that night, I spent the night with my cousin. My cousin stays in Katy, an hour away. But I wasn't staying there. Came back the next day. My landlord and the workers were there fixing what should have been fixed before I moved in. Patching holes, putting the fire alarm together. Pest control was there. Yeah, mind you, I still had to clean everything myself. It was disgusting, y'all. It was so nasty. And it got to the point I looked up, is it illegal for landlords to not clean before a new tenant moves in? It wasn't. I had to force him to give me a new refrigerator. And he brought in a refrigerator expert or something. He was like, well, is it broke? I said, I don't think you're understanding. I don't care if it's broke. You're going to give me a new refrigerator. He got me a new refrigerator because at that point, he just knew I was playing with him. And he sent me a text message and he was like, hey, I know it's been this, that. We can give you your deposit back and you can get out this lease. No harm, no foul. He ain't know I ain't had no rest to stay. But I couldn't let him know that I ain't had no rest to stay. So I was like, I sent him this paragraph and I ended it with, I don't want to move. I want you to make it right. And he made it right. I spent the night at my cousin's house for 2 nights, but I didn't want to stay too long because she has a husband and she has kids, and you know, I couldn't overstay my welcome. I refused to get furniture until the bugs were gone. I didn't buy a bed or a couch until October, so I went and bought an air mattress. But shout out to my neighbor, y'all, my next door neighbor, because I got home maybe that second or third day, and it was a note on my door, and it was a Walmart bag on the floor, and I looked at the note, and it was basically my neighbor saying, hey, this is whoever, this is my number, let me know if you do anything, yada yada yada, what's the neighborhood. And then at the end he put, the people who stayed here before you were disgusting, so here's the gift. Y'all, the bag had a whole bunch of book stuff. You were that nasty? You were that nasty? My neighbor know that I'm struggling. And you know what's crazy? That second day, after I still had to clean up, I was like, well God, am I supposed to be here? Let me know if I need to go home, right? That day, while I was cleaning, I didn't want to, cause quiet as it's kept, I am a TV over music girl. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't feel like listening to music, and I was like, well, you know what? We just gonna listen to this sermon. Surprisingly enough, it was speaking to my whole situation. It was basically saying, stick it out, see it through. I was like, I guess I'll see it through. And then that same day, I got that note, and I was like, okay, Jesus, I hear you. We gonna stay. We gonna stick it out. We'll figure it out. We can always go home. Shout out to my mama. You can always go home. Yeah, my neighbor was really a gem. I didn't even know when trash day was, y'all. He was a really good neighbor, friends. It took a good week and a half for those bugs to go away. Very horrible experience. Very humbling. Very horrendous. Very much, I'm about to burn this whole house down. It was a lot. When I say I wanted to move since the first day that I moved in, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Like the depths of my soul. Like, this is my heart. I mean it from all the way down here. I didn't even let people come to my house because I didn't like my house. So if I don't like my house, surely you won't like my house. If I'm not comfortable in this house, you're not gonna be comfortable in this house. The only time people came over is when they were picking me up. When I say it's only 3 people who've been to my house and been inside of my house more than once, and they've only stayed for like 30 minutes. You want to see me? I'll come to you. It was that serious for me. In my heart of hearts, I am the hostess with the mostest. So that was really, really sad for me. I didn't even want to host. That's horrible. And I also felt like I couldn't really make some of the content that I wanted to make because I just did not like my space. It was very unmotivating, very discouraging. You know what's crazy? I love being home. I love being in my bed, and I would do that, but I can never 100% relax because I was never 100% comfortable. I relax 99.9%, and then it's just that 0.1% where it's like, but don't get too comfortable. I don't know. It's just never, it was so depressing, y'all. I cannot lie. It was depressing. When I first moved in, my neighbors were great. My next door neighbor, he was cool. My 2 backdoor neighbors, they were cool. And there's only 1 backdoor neighbor that's still there. Y'all, I don't know when my other back door never moved, but she moved a little bit before my next door never moved. My next door never moved in December. He moved out on a Monday. The new tenants were in on like a Wednesday. They were so loud. I heard every conversation they had. Well, I wouldn't say every. Like, if I was in my room, I didn't really hear them, but I still heard them. But if I was in that living room, I heard every conversation. It was horrible. It was horrible. They were the worst neighbors that I've ever had. Y'all, they were trifling. I had to tell on them 3 times for leaving their trash outside by their door. Mind you, we're in a duplex, so your door is damn near my door. We got this much space in between our doors. If you leave your trash right here, you might as well leave it on my porch. The trash can is right there. And then they always feeding the strays, so it's always a cat or a dog in my driveway. I don't have a cat. I don't have a dog. Why are you in my driveway? It got to the point the dogs started to think that they lived there. So towards the end of me living there, they would bark at me as if I don't pay rent. They would yell all day, especially the man. When the neighbor moved in the back, she was still in the mail. She was still in the mail, y'all. I promise you she stole my bundles. I don't have no proof. I still ain't got my money back for them bundles. I promise you she was still in the mail. Everybody was complaining about her. It got to the point the landlord had to get us a new mailbox with the code that was very secure. She was stealing everything. My mom was sending me my car tag. It was gone. What's that about? I was complaining about it to my friends so much, they bought me a Ring camera for Christmas. Then it came time to renew my lease around what, August, I guess. Yeah, around August. And I have been talking about not renewing my lease for maybe 2 months prior. And my mom was like, I don't think you should do that, yada yada. And at first I was like, she a hater. But then I was like, she kind of right. I ain't gonna renew my lease. I ain't gotta listen to her because she was right. So I renewed my lease. I stayed. By the time October came around, y'all, I was over it again. It was just incident after incident after. It was a mixture of being annoyed with my neighbors and being uncomfortable and not feeling like I could just completely relax. I was just over it. By the time October came, I was over it. I was like, yeah, we're out of here by December. I don't care. We're moving by December. Did I move by December? No, I did not move by December. We hit a couple roadblocks. Then January came and I was like, okay, it's January. We locking in. We find an apartment. We're moving by February. Y'all, tell me why. January came. I told my landlord, hey, I'm giving you a 30-day notice. I'm leaving by February 28th. This man said, no, you can't leave. You can't leave because we don't have nobody to take your lease over. And I was like, oh, I can't leave. Because mind you, I've never broken a lease before. So I was telling my friend about it. And after that, I felt stuck. I was like, dang, I really got to stay in here until my lease is up in August. That sucks. That is horrible. So I was telling my friend about it. And my friend was like, he can't make you stay. Like, you're not in jail. He can't make you live nowhere. You can leave. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I can't leave. Like I said, everything I say I'm going to do, I'm going to do it. I locked in January. Found that apartment. Argued with my landlord a little bit because he did have me messed up. Like, by the time it was over, I was like, yeah, this man got me so messed up. Argued with him a little bit. Forfeited my deposit. Paid my little rent. And I moved. Thank God. I moved, friends. I finally moved. It's been a long time coming. It's really, really, really been a long time coming. I didn't want anybody to tell me all this, so I didn't really tell anyone that I was moving. Honestly, yeah, I didn't tell anyone I was moving. I've been here for about 3 weeks. Y'all, I love it here. It's beautiful. I love it here. I love the area. My neighbors are cool. The management is cool. They not weird. It's clean. Ain't no bugs in here. I didn't have to scrub my life away when I moved in. I mean, you do the basic cleaning because you don't know who was here before you, but I didn't have to pour bleach 24/7. I love it, y'all. I really do love it here. I haven't really decorated yet. I do have the basic stuff that I already had, like my bed, my couch. I had to throw my table away because it was broke. I did keep the chairs. Don't know if I'm keeping them as bar stools yet or not. However, we're here. I love it, friends. I can finally host. I can finally make some of the content that I've been yearning to make. And I did vlog moving, so I do plan on posting that sometime soon, probably next week. I just need to edit it. I did try the natural lighting thing. I don't know how it's transferring on camera. And also, I did not open my blinds. Thank y'all so much for coming to hear me talk. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and come back for more.